Roger the Wild Child Show is brought to you by our friends at Prism Design Company. Are you looking for a cool new logo for your business? Do you need some new graphics for your website or blog? Our friends at the Prism Design Company are a premier graphic design company that can handle all your needs. You can find Prism Design Company on Facebook or contact them directly at 618-534-4291. All the great graphics on the Roger the Wild Child Show are brought to you by our friends at the Prism Design Company.
And now a man who wishes Deb's heat would continue to rise. It's Roger the Wild Child.
Let's get this party started! Ready, set, go!
On the air everywhere.
It's the Roger the Wild Child Show!
Oh, it's getting hot in here. Oh
Yeah,
my
you know
gosh.
what?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, you know what? I'm like in a sauna because my air conditioning went out today. And I was just talking to my daughter and she's like, what are we going to do? And I'm like, I have no idea. We have to wait till tomorrow. It's Sunday. What am I going to do?
We got a great show right now. Let's go. Let's do it.
I'm like, schwitzing.
Oh, guys, welcome to the Roger the Wild Child show. And oh my gosh, I didn't even get it.
Fuck it.
What?
There we go.
No.
Yes! Woo!
I can't. There we go. Dad took the
It
top
feels
off.
like
Won't be the first time.
it feels like 1990 all over again.
Baby.
Hang
There we
on.
Oh my gosh.
Hang on.
Oh my
Oh,
God.
Hold on a second.
This is real time, baby. I'm like, it's 100 degrees in here.
Oh
I
my
wish
gosh.
it was even close to that here in Chicago, man. It
I'm
sucks
wearing
here.
a sport bra. It's very sexy, but you know.
hey, what are you gonna do, right? Anything happens on the
Camera
Roger the
down
Wild
just
Child
a
show.
little
I was
bit,
so
but-
freaked out. I'm like, okay, no air conditioning. The hot water's not working. It must be something all working together there. And I thought, oh, this is probably going to be the best show ever because everything's going wrong on my end. So,
Yeah,
so here we go.
guarantee you-
It's already started out real good.
I guarantee you, Deb, if you move the camera down just a little bit, this will be our highest. There you
There
go.
we go.
Our
Yes!
highest rated show ever. Yay! Everybody!
All right, I'll take one for the team. Woohoo!
That's right. That's right. Thank you, Deborah. Okay, so let's talk about today in the news. Amazing story. Richard Branson went into outer space and back on Earth in an hour. Crazy.
I'm in queue.
Oh man, that'd
I'm
be
going.
so awesome.
You're going?
I'm in queue for sure. Are you kidding?
I probably wouldn't come back, but
Well, here's the deal.
I can't do this show. I gotta go. wait, hold on a second. I forgot to play this one for Deb. Hold on. Here we go.
Are you naked?
Just a
I can
little.
finally use it and it makes sense.
We need to play. It's getting hot in here.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? By the time this episode is over, she will probably be down to her G-string.
I will. The sweats are coming off next.
Stick around for the after show.
Here we go. Now we got some viewership.
Yeah,
right?
I didn't see any of the news today because I've been dealing with a computer that just sucked
I
all
don't
day.
want to
so-
hear about your computer when I'm sitting here and it's like 150
I know.
degrees.
That's because I was downloading pictures of you and one of them had a virus. So
That's because it was fake news.
Oh.
yeah.
Yes, no, Richard Branson is a rock star. He is
Yeah.
like seriously, he's like my mentor. So much inspiration there. I was like a little kid right along with him today. You
Yeah.
know, I was just like, oh my God. Like
That's
I want to
pretty
go so
awesome.
bad. Yeah, no, I want to go. I'm in queue. I want to take my mom.
Yeah, he went up to space and back in an hour. And according, it says it's 50 miles from the planet. You're considered outer space.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
So,
Yeah, there's this whole controversy between him and Bezos and who's actually going to space and whatever. I'm like, hey, they're both going. I know. Let's get off the distance thing. You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing on both ends.
Yeah.
The
Yeah,
whole thing
that-
is a huge.
I'm gonna have to read up on that.
Guys, think about this. In the next few years, we're all going to be like lining up to go to space.
Do you think this is the Jetsons coming to life now?
Totally.
All right.
Totally.
Good.
Okay.
You know, there are companies right now building crops on Mars. Like seriously, like so we'll have more food and more sustenance for Earth. Like there's so many wild things happening. Everything's autonomous. There's going to be air taxis and nobody's going to be flying them. You're just going to get in a taxi and it's going to go from LA to San Diego and nobody's
Are we going to do like Star Trek where you say,
yes,
you know,
go to San Diego and you've got like 6 passengers and it's an air taxi.
Yeah. Well, think about it now. I mean, we got these things, remember? And nobody was like, go gadget, you know?
yeah.
So hot.
So, yeah, you are.
I know. Another layer needs to come off, Deborah.
No.
Well, you got to give me the music.
Well, you know, it is getting hot in here, and that's when we have to bring in Frankie, because Frankie.
We'll bet that you wish you knew if skies will be cloudy or blue. Don't worry or fret, cause your best bet is our weatherman who has plenty to say to you.
Frankie McDonald, welcome. And I have to ask you, what's the weather forecast up in Mars?
Up in Mars, it's supposed to get a lot of major dust storms up in Mars, but it's no oxygen, so much dust storms up in Mars because the Mars is right dry. Saturn's moon Titan has their own atmosphere. And it's been raining different kind of water up in Saturn's moon Titan because they got their own clouds, they got their own wind, they got their own storms. But it's really, really cold planet up in Saturn's moon Titan. That's another planet, and that's a Saturn's moon. Almost look like a planet that's way up. That means in Mars is to get a lot of dust storms. And planet Venus is so hot, and Jupiter's moon Europa has water. They have so much.
Your Venus is hot.
Right.
Hey, Frankie, is there any?
Venus is very hot today, honey.
Is there any?
I got
is there
my
any
California
possi-
earthquake prediction right. I did a video back in April.
I saw
I got
that.
my prediction right in July.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And guess what? Are you talking about the one in Lake Tahoe?
It's going to be really, really, really hot in Lake Tahoe. It's going to be really humid all across the eastern United States at the same time.
No,
A lot of thunderstorms in Dayton, Ohio.
The
Ooh.
earthquake
In
you
Phoenix, Arizona is
predicted.
going to bring a lot of thunderstorms on Wednesday and Thursday and Saturday because of monsoon season's here. India's getting so much rain lately. Russia's getting so much fires. And Europe, Norway, Finland, Sweden's getting really, really hot outside. I remember that. And the gadgets, like Go-Go Gadget, I remember those cartoons when I was a kid. And I remember the cartoon reboot. Bob had a key tool like on his arm. It said glitch sprinter.
Inspector Gadget.
It's like the key tool on the right there is called the glitch right here.
Frankie, hold on a second. Hold on a second. I can only do one impression in my whole life, and this is my impression. I'll get you next time, Gadget. Next time. Oh. Okay.
And it made
That was pretty good.
I know.
Yeah, it was
I've been
good.
practicing it for 40 years.
Frankie, what is the prediction for earthquake in California? Because I'm feeling like the big one's coming.
But it's date to be announced. It's date too unpredictable. And the other guy, Weather Bill 7, predicted California mega quake in October 2022. That's Weather Bill 7 from YouTube. He's wrong. I'm right because I guessed the predictions. He says the date, and I said anytime soon. He's different than me.
Is there any chance you can make it about 20 degrees hotter in LA right now, Frankie?
I need to hear about that. I remember
Frankie,
that.
there's a reason why my top is off. You haven't noticed that my top is off.
I've noticed.
My
My
air conditioning went out. Yeah, my air conditioning went out. So it's like 150 in my house.
Yeah, and Dave Rivera wrote that. And sometimes the air conditioner breaks down in a commercial. That means they had to shut the store down.
Get
Yeah,
the hell
well-
out! It's warm in here.
That's
It's
right.
really hot in here. I'm just blowing around hot air right now.
Wow.
And then did you hear about that? The even coldest inhabited place on Earth, Oymyakon, Russia, is so hot there because burning a lot of fires in Siberia. It's really bad for them. Burning remote communities there is so bad.
Wow. It's crazy weather everywhere,
I can't
man.
complain when you've got hot
I got
fires
big
in
news.
Siberia.
NOAA, La Nina's come back in the Pacific. The cold waters in the Pacific's come back in the fall. That's going to trigger way more hurricanes in the Atlantic. That's the cold waters off the coast of Ecuador. That's going to bring a lot more hurricanes in the Atlantic.
Ah.
See, I have nothing to complain about. So my air
Right?
conditioning went out. You know, there's fires in Siberia.
I'm glad
Yes,
your air
it is.
conditioning went out.
Yes.
They're bringing so much sandstorms in Sahara Desert in Africa.
Now, one of our guests, Rocky Kramer, is from Norway. What's the weather over there?
Over in Norway, it was so hot earlier in the week, it got cooled down. Supposed to get a lot of rain for the rest of July in Norway, including Trosmo, Norway, and all these places.
Wow. I look, all I can keep saying is that the weather here in Chicago this summer has been absolutely ridiculous because you go from one weekend where it's 95 and humid, like 160% humidity, and then the next weekend where there's humidity, but it's like 69 degrees and raining.
Yes,
I'm tired of it.
during the Flintstone days, when then they had to run to start up the car. You have to run.
Right.
You have to have
I
an
love
elephant
that.
as a tack and things like that. They have to use a bee and a seashell as a electric razor.
I love the Flintstones.
They use another animal.
Bam Bam.
They have to have another animal for an alarm clock. They had to use another kind of animal to cook and things like that in those days, like the Stone Age. And the Jetsons, that's another cartoon I watched.
Yeah, those. I grew up on those, Frankie. So those are my cartoons too, man.
Hanna-Barbera.
Yep.
I remember the cartoon reboot a long time ago when I was young. That guy had a key tool on his arm, like the Guardians. They have key tools on their arm like this.
I worked in Amarillo, Texas when the movie came out, the actual live action movie. And it's probably one of the greatest experiences of my life. Not the movie, because the movie sucked. But the whole movie theater, it was a giveaway from the radio station where everybody got to go see it for free. And it was on my birthday. And the whole movie theater sang happy birthday to me. It's probably one of the most coolest experiences of my life.
Right on. That is so fun.
It was. And then I had to sit down and watch the movie. And then my birthday was ruined. So.
Oh, God.
And I've got my
Cool,
only
Frankie.
dream, Frankie McDonald.
You guys can get Frankie's book. It's called Be Prepared. You can go on Amazon.com.
We'll bet that you wish you knew if skies will be cloudy or blue. Don't worry or fret, cause your best bet is our weatherman who has plenty to say to you.
Deborah,
See you
Frankie's
next
book
week,
is
Frankie.
covering your front. You got to put it down.
See you next week, Frankie.
Bye, Frankie.
Be
Thank you.
prepared. Be prepared.
Oh,
Good Lord, if our viewership doesn't go up,
Yeah,
I
I'm
don't know what to do at that point.
I don't know. I think we got more viewership when we had Jason Sheff on Wednesday than when Deborah got topless.
Yeah, but don't worry about that. The reviews are going to be like huge. Trust me.
Yeah, of course they are.
There you
So
go. The headline's going to be Deborah takes off her top.
Kind
It's
of.
going to be like, big deal. She already did that.
Right? Exactly. I told you. I already
She already
seen them.
did that. That's old news.
Right, it is. It's like centuries old.
Yeah. Oh, Deborah who?
Okay, so we're going to bring up our first guest. He is a world-renowned drummer. He's played with Mellencamp, Paul McCartney, Ringo Starr, The Stones, Lady Gaga, Bruno Mars, Sting,
Okay.
Bob Dylan, Bruce Springsteen, Bob Seger, Meatloaf,
Wow.
Elton John, Johnny Cash, Steven Tyler, and the
Johnny
Smashing
Cash?
Pumpkins.
Oh,
Yes, he's
Johnny
played
Cash.
with Johnny Cash.
What?
And the Smashing Pumpkins, B.B.
Man.
King, Rod Stewart, John Fogerty. So he told me I'm not the wild child. He is the actual
is.
wild child.
That's
Please
it.
welcome.
There he is.
Here he is, Mr. Kenny Aronoff. How you doing, sir?
Hi, Kenny.
Kenny.
Hey guys, hey, you know what the headline for Deborah should be? When it's hot, Debbie's hot. And then
Amen.
the next line would be, well, is she hot when it's cold?
Always
And the
hot.
answer,
Well,
exactly.
everything's melting, when it's cold.
Yeah. Hey, thank you for that introduction. That's very, very cool. I'm right here in my studio where I do all these records now.
Well, Jimmy's
Right?
got a bunch of records in his background too.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Really?
I was looking at Kenny's
The
background.
difference
I'm
is-
jealous.
Kenny's
Hey,
are
Jimmy.
like, like platinum.
Oh, sorry.
Hey, Jimmy, it's
Yeah.
wild. We got some of the same records on our wall.
Yeah, I had to change them today because you were coming on, and I'm like,
I love it.
I got all sorts of these records that he's on, and I'm like, I've got to show him that I care because I do. I mean, you've been on some seriously kick-ass records. I mean, some of the best that have ever been, like Mellencamp's. I mean, all of Mellencamp's stuff that you've been on were huge records. I mean, huge. And and then I'm looking through it, and I'm like I didn't even know you had anything to do with Meatloaf. I didn't know that, and I'm like, oh my god, because
he's one of my favorite artists.
Yeah. But going back to '94, we beat the hell out of that record on radio. So,
well, that Bat Out of Hell 2 is like over 40 million sold.
Yeah,
right, exactly.
That'll never happen again. But I was just the right time at the right place. But there's other factors. But the bottom line, there were budgets, so people would fly me all over the world. I mean, I had drums in Nashville, L.A., New York. Of course, I was living in Indiana, and I had drums in Japan and Germany. And back then, it was like if you're selling like 40 million records, and the record label's making 82 cents on the dollar, that's a lot of money. So they can afford to say, you know what, who played on that hit single? Aronoff, let's get him, fly him in. And that kind of thing was happening when the record sales tanked, the budgets tanked, and that's what made me make a decision. Where am I going to move? Nashville, LA. I just said LA, and then I got this studio here, and like I'm recording today. I recorded Joe Satriani's record yesterday. I recorded 4 other artists last week. So I mean, I just adapted. I have my own studio now. People send me files, but well,
isn't that amazing in itself, though? The way technology has changed, that people can do these things remotely now, and
it's
you don't
unbelievable.
have to. It's the greatest. I love technology, and I love that fact. I love the fact that we can do this. And,
we went into space today.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the thing is, I have a theory, and it's called, I mean, humankind has survived by tools and technology, and to me that means adapt or die.
Yeah,
that's
right.
And this studio in the next room is my where the drums are and everything. So I do motivational speaking. I have an agent, and I have this whole thing. And I lost a bunch of tours, of course, during the pandemic, but I also lost a bunch of speaking. Yeah. So I immediately turned my studio into a TV studio. It took a while. So I have lights and cameras, I got switchers, I've got 4 computers running. So because I play, there's a component where I play. Anyway, my point is like,
you could give a speech right out of your studio.
Absolutely, I have.
Yeah,
it's
this
cool.
Is amazing.
The point is that it's the same thing I did with the record business. Is that I immediately saw I'm kind of like Tom Brady. When I'm an experienced.
I want to hear this.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean,
come on, Kenny, tell us.
Yeah. How are you like Tom Brady?
Well, I deflate my balls. No,
yes.
Oh man.
No, I mean, what I mean is that I have a lot of experience. I have a lot of experience, Deborah. Anyway, so I have a lot of experience, so from just doing what I do. So if I were on a football team, let's say Tom Brady, and I have a plan, but when the ball's hiked, a million things can change. And I'm that guy that, can, with my experience, recognize so many things and can problem solve. When I did like Kennedy Center honors 7 years in a row, I mean, you don't want to mess up when you would Sting or Chris Cornell or Elton John, and things go wrong. Things go wrong, and the drummer
they do.
It's kind of like, oh, yeah, of course, that. And so,
look at me, I'm schwitzing. Yeah.
Nothing's ever gone wrong on this show.
No.
Never.
No.
Nothing's going wrong at all. I couldn't do my hair. I mean, hello.
Don't talk about hair. You got fine hair. That's hair. That's why they call me Kenny Aronoff.
It works though. I mean, you're one of those guys that can pull that off because the head looks good shaved. So I actually shaved my head probably about a couple of months ago, and almost got it down to that level. And I'm like, I could pull this off too. So if you got the good melon for it.
It's you don't know it until you do it.
Right, so exactly.
I waited. It was weird. I had it this short, and I went, God, what's that big bump back there? And I don't know. And I waited till I was in Europe for a month. and I
Okay.
shaved it, and I put glasses on because that was the Smashing Pumpkins tour, the Adore tour,
Yeah.
and
Oh,
I
what a
was
record.
just starting to wear glasses, and then when I shaved my head, it was like, that's it, you know.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
it. But you did. It's weird. It was that short, and I still was insecure shaving it. Now I look back and go, like, what a dork I was having that much hair.
See,
I
when I
have a question for you. I
Good.
want to know, because it's such a small world. I've only met one famous drummer in my life, and he gave me his drumsticks when he was on the Who's That Girl tour in Japan, and I was there modeling. Did you ever meet a gentleman by the name of Jonathan Moffat?
Yeah, I know Jonathan. Absolutely.
I met
Here she
him
goes
in
again,
Japan.
Roger.
Yeah.
I know.
Wow.
No, he gave me his drumsticks. They invited us, and we were front.
I bet he did.
Yeah.
Like I said, I know Jonathan. Wait, you said Jonathan Moffat. Jonathan. Oh, I was thinking of Jonathan Mover. I know Jonathan Moffat. Jonathan Moffat is a cool dude. He played with Madonna, and he was going to do the Michael Jackson tour. Jonathan Moffat, very classy, cool. I think he's from New Orleans. Just very cool.
Yeah. Super cool. So that one of the
Very
nicest human beings. He invited all our crew.
Yeah.
We were like second row at her Who's That Girl tour. And this would have been in 1985.
Yeah.
That's how far back, whatever year that was. But yeah.
Well,
that's the only famous drummer until right this minute that I've met. Now I've met you.
Yeah, virtually. That's fun. That's great, man. He's a great
Fred
guy.
Carroll on Facebook says, love the show and love Deborah Driggs.
Of course.
Hello.
Hey, it's working.
It's working.
Hey, not bad for 57 people. Come on.
Hey. Oh, yeah. Deborah, are you in LA?
I am.
It's hot today. You're right.
Hello, my air conditioning went out. This is I'm not making this up. It's like 150 degrees. I'm like in a sauna.
If I'd known, you could have come here. There's a lot of
I could have come and done the show with you.
You could have been right. You could have been right
there. Where are you? I'm in Brentwood.
Okay, my house is in Laurel Canyon, but the studio is in the valley, just in the valley near Sherman Way.
Yeah, okay. You're not the studio where Tom Petty used to record. You didn't take over that space, did you?
No, I didn't take that space over, but this is in that
you
direction.
know what studio I'm
Nobody
talking
should
about,
take that
right?
space over. It should become a shrine.
Yeah,
Hey,
you're kidding.
Yeah.
Historical monument.
Yeah.
You want to hear a weird story? I was auditioning for the Petty band once. It was funny because Stan Lynch, the Petty drummer, was playing with Mellencamp because we were all having outs with our bosses. Anyway, I was auditioning, and so that was that. Okay, that was a long time ago. But this year during the COVID, somebody said, "Hey man, you're on Tom Petty's Wildflowers box set." I'm like, "I am?" I said, "I never." He said, "Yeah, you recorded with Tom Petty and Heartbreakers." I went, "I did?" And I was like, I couldn't remember. And then I thought, oh, wait a minute. When I was auditioning, I remember we played some songs and we were recording. I thought they were recording it just to check me out against the other drummers. But they
actually used you?
Oh, you can hear me count off. It's my voice.
Wow.
Wow.
That's on the alternate versions, right?
That's amazing.
Yeah, I have that record.
Dude,
I have it. It's fantastic.
One is going. Oh, it's killer. One is going to Georgia, like the train beat. Another one is I can't remember the names, but it's man. I miss Tom Petty a lot.
Yeah.
Oh my God! You don't
Have you
have my favorite. Like seriously, my favorite. I took my son saw him when he was 7 years old.
Yeah.
That's how much, like our whole family, we were obsessed with him. I went to those studios where he recorded.
Yeah. Have you guys listened to his Sirius XM radio?
Yeah.
Tom Petty. Oh,
yeah.
And it's so cool. They have his voice. They still have him saying stuff.
That's one of the greatest things about that medium is that they just
you
keep
gotta check it out.
I'm going to because I am such a fan.
But I get a little sad when I hear that though too, because it's like, you know he's gone and you're hearing him talk and you're just like, God, I wish he wasn't gone because
that's sad. That is the wave of the future though, you guys. This is why AI is, you know, when people pass on now, they're going to continue on. There's major public figures that have AI in line so that if something happens to them, their legacy can continue on.
We're so it's kind of a thing hologram. Now. Tom Petty hologram.
That's where we're headed.
Yeah.
Oh, that's where we're headed. By the way, I went to see that in Vegas with Michael Jackson. I mean, it's happening. Crazy.
Yeah, I'm part of a company that does that. You know, that'd be wild. If us as an AI is alive, when we're alive, our AI could have sex with another AI. It'd be Debbie. It'd be like you and me standing here watching our AIs make out.
Isn't that how it all ends? AIs giving AIs.
Laughing. Yeah, there you go.
But here's the wild thing: what if the human?
It's called safe sex.
Yeah, that's right. That'd be wild, man. It's like that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Wow, I'm gonna have to re-listen to that record because I didn't know you were on it. I picked it up. It's a great one. I picked up his American Dream record on Record Store Day. What a fantastic reimagination that they did of those songs from like She's the One and stuff. It's it's just an awesome record. So I was a huge Petty fan, and I'm really sad that he's gone.
Definitely. I seen him at Southern Illinois University when I was going to college down there, and he was performing, and that was a really, really good show. So yes, rest in peace, Tom.
You know, it was weird when Mellencamp, before we had that first big record, American Fool, which won 2 Grammys, had Jack and Diane, and Hurt So Good, the one that's right behind you. We were listening. One of the bands we were listening to was Tom Petty. They had Refugee, and we're going like,
my favorite.
Yeah, how can we write songs like that? See, in the 80s, you had to have great choruses, you had to have great lyrics, you had to have great, every instrument had to have a definitive, unique, special sound and part. You had to have verses, pre-choruses, you had to have choruses, bridges, solos, everything had to be, because you're competing with Elton John, Paul McCartney, Sting, Bruce Springsteen, Tom Petty, or whoever else is out there. And that was a huge top shelf measure. We were trying to be as cool. Why is that work? Why is Tom Petty's song feel and sound so good? He was a big influence.
The great thing about the music of the 80s compared to the music of today is that there was such a variety of music in the 80s, and now everything just sounds the same. And
I can answer
it's very sad.
I can answer that. Okay, so when they had big budgets, you could afford, with Mellencamp, we could afford to make a record and throw it away and start again. So our bar was so high. Is that as good as AC/DC? Is that as good as the Rolling Stones? Is that nope? Throw it away and start again. But there was money to support you to do that, and the labels were okay with that because they knew they were making 82 cents on the dollar. And so if you do come up with a great record, and they put them and money to get it played on the radio, money to get you on tour, money to promote, money for a publicist, money to push this machinery through, everybody's going to make money in the end. And so that's why, and we would hang out as a band, and just work like 12 hours a day, 5 days a week for years and years and years. And it's not one person, it's a band. Teams win Super Bowls, NBA titles, World Cups, and and Stanley Cups, not individuals. So if you're just locked up in your room doing it by yourself, you can only go so far.
Right, I agree with that.
I've now just seen why you're a motivational speaker as well. So
exactly, no kidding.
That's great.
I'm just getting started.
Kenny, when you were a kid, you were influenced by the Beatles because you've seen them perform on the Ed Sullivan Show. Tell us about that experience.
Well, when I grew up in a town of 3,000 people in Western Mass, a very cool, artsy town called Stockbridge. There was nothing to watch on TV, so we were always outside playing. And my twin brother, and I were playing outside, and my mom yelled at us one day from the porch, boys, you got to come in right now. And I look at John, I go, oh shit, what do we do? We're in trouble, which usually was the case. So anyway, we go running across the lawn. And we get into the family room, and our heads are down, kind of like, uh-oh. And she's pointing to this black and white RCA TV set with the rabbit ears, And there's these 4 guys on TV with suits and had electric guitars and bass, and they had the long hair, and this Paul McCartney goes, "She loves you, yeah, yeah, yeah," and all of a sudden, the Beatles are performing, and I had heard rock and roll, but when I saw that, it was like electricity. I was like so crazy. I wanted to do that so bad. I'd never experienced that before, and I didn't know who they were. I didn't know where they were from. I knew nothing. I just said, "Mom, who are those guys?" She said, "They're the Beatles." And I went, "Well, I want to play in the Beatles. You got to call them up and get me in the band." And I don't want to play drums. I don't want to play piano anymore. Hell with that. I'm playing drums. I thought Ringo looked so cool. And of course, she didn't call the Beatles up and didn't get me a drum set. And I was
Mom!
bummed. Yeah, I was bummed, man. I was like, what am I going to do? My parents smartly saw that I was so obsessed with this, and they believe that you support your children in their passion,
That's right.
And so they got me a snare drum and a cymbal. It's all we could afford. And I started my own band called the Alley Cats. I stood up and played, and we did Beatles music. And the end of that story is 50 years later, as you probably know. I became Kenny Aronoff, and I get a call to do a CBS special called The Night That Changed America, honoring the Beatles for that friggin' Ed Sullivan show.
Isn't that crazy?
I know, and I get to play with Paul McCartney in
No,
Mexico.
I have two words. Of course.
Right.
Yeah, but you know what?
Of course.
But okay, and my speech is all about how a kid from 10 years old becomes that. And first of all, the what was happening was when I saw the Beatles on the Ed Sullivan show, I realized immediately from a place in my heart, not in my brain, in my heart, that what my purpose was before I even knew what that word meant or that statement. Obviously I was like, I got to do this. I got to do this. And that passion led me to make so many critical decisions that one would go, what? Why is he doing that? Or when John Mellencamp fired me from the first record and he said to go home, and I went, no, I'm not going home. Why would I say that? Because
why did he fire you from the first record?
Well, when I got in the band, I knew how to audition. See, I have a big classical background because when I got out of high school, there was no school of rock. So I studied classical music and eventually got into I got into the Jerusalem Symphony Orchestra. I mean, I worked with Leonard Bernstein, Aaron Copland. I was practicing 8 hours a day at age 18.
Wow.
7 days a week, classical, like mallets and timpani and reading and drum set. I always played drum set. Totally. Those were my teachers. But the bottom line is, I turned down the Jerusalem Symphony Orchestra because I was following my heart. I turned down certainty for complete uncertainty. I had a paycheck. I had an orchestra. There's not that many orchestras. Okay, when I got in the Mellencamp band 4 years later, I won the audition, but my experience to making records, to get on the radio, I had none. And so the producer wanted to get the record done fast. And he told John, I need a session drummer that can get these things done fast. Because, and I'll ask drummers this all the time, what is the purpose of a drummer when you're making a record? And they're always thinking of themselves. That success comes when you think about we, not me. In other words, my purpose is always one thing and one thing only. And that's to get the goddamn record on the radio to be number one.
That's right.
Yeah.
So if that being said, every decision, every statement, every thought, every beat, everything, silence, whatever it is, should all be pivoting toward, what am I going to do? Now, it gets deeper than that. It's not just good enough that I play a great drum part. I need the bass player, the guitar player. I need everybody to do a great job. I want them to do a great job. If you guys were on my team, my goal is to really care about what you're doing so that you care about what I'm doing, so we care about what we're doing together. That is the ultimate level of teamwork. That's how success happens.
Wow.
That's the thing. And so my job is to serve the song, the band, the producer, the artist, the guy who empties the garbage, whatever. It's not about me. So when John told me to go home, I said no, because he was stealing my dream from me. And I just couldn't stand that. So I didn't know. I was just like freaking out. I felt ashamed. I felt freaked out. I felt like a loser, and I wasn't going home. And so I negotiated a deal that would serve us both. I went, well, am I still your drummer? And he was all perplexed, and he went, well, yeah, but you're not playing on the record. I said, well, I'm going to go in the studio. I'm making this up as I'm going. I'm like, well, I'm going to go in the studio, and I'm going to watch those guys play my parts on your record. And I'll benefit from that. I'll learn from that. Yeah. And that'll be good for you because I'm your drummer. And he didn't say anything. And I'm like, fuck. I went, all right, you don't have to pay me. I'll sleep on the couch. And he went, okay. And that was the beginning of me shifting from me to we. Understanding, oh my God, I have to become the best John Cougar Mellencamp drummer I can be. And that's the beginning of my career, you know.
There you go.
And then
that's a great story.
So
what was it like working with Elton John?
Unbelievable. And I talk about this when I speak. You know, as a session drummer, because I would be like with Elton John one day, and the next day it'd be Willie Nelson, the next day it would be the Smashing Pumpkins, the next day it'd be, you know, Seger. So when I walk into a studio, there's things I call 3 C's. I've got to immediately go right up to Elton John, my friggin' hero. I'm like, I have to connect with him and start talking. So he was the friendliest, coolest, happiest guy in the world. So now we connect and communicate. Now we can collaborate. Connect, communicate, collaborate. Because now he's looking over his shoulder and laughing at me. And, you know, we're kind of buddies. And I've asked him, you know, first of all, I've totally showed him how much I respect him and love his music and what an honor it is to be there. He wants to get along with me too, because he's in the studio. We're making music. And he asked me to go on tour with him, you know, after that, which was,
wow.
You know, that's how it works. So Elton John, amazing. And I played with him at other events where I'm like the drummer, the house band drummer. And I've never heard a male voice that loud. And he's always in tune. He sings always in tune. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, that's a huge one too, because he's so awesome.
Wow.
Elton John. Again, I'm the same great. I like what you say about that when you said that you've got to, you know, go in and immediately hit him like, hey, how are you? You know, you got to. If you went in there and just said, I'm the drummer and I'm just going to play, it doesn't work. There's no chemistry there.
That's, I have to say, not to get back to Tom Brady, but that's what he does. I saw a running back talk about it. The running back had worked for Mahomes from KC and worked for Brady. And they were asking him, what's the difference? And he said, well, both of them are they know how to connect and communicate with us. And they make us want to play better for the team. And they're just incredible people. And they're great athletes. And to be that way at that level, I almost say you have to be born with it. You know, you have to just be that person. But, dude, it makes a difference. I swear I get hired probably as much for that skill set as I do for my playing.
Absolutely. 100%. Just the fact that you have that mindset, you know, because there's so much ego involved, especially in the entertainment business, as you know, and when you can put your ego aside and be a we member, not an I member. And, you know, at this point, you know, I just remember, you know, in early stages of my acting career, it's like nobody wants to put up with when there's money and time involved. Nobody wants to put up with any nonsense. They want to, you know, it's all about, it's like a spiritual game, really, if you think about it. It is we time. And so I love that mindset. It's so, I mean, that's where the great success stories come from.
I'll add one more tidbit to that. And this is something I'm working on too, is that when, you know, I'll just put it this way. Serve me, serve you, serve everyone. And the part that I was not always, that I've been working on is when I say serve me, it's not selfish way. It's like you have to also self-care, take care of yourself so that you can be a better team player. You know, you have to take care of mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually.
Absolutely. I say I have to take the oxygen first. And then I can give it to everybody. You know what I mean? There's a reason why they say that on the airplane, right? Put it on you first before the kids. Yeah. You know?
So,
and there's no I in team. So,
yeah.
There isn't? Oh, I've been spelling it wrong all these damn years.
No.
Oh my gosh.
No.
You need to go learn your spelling, mister.
Right, Jim?
I actually like the Tom Brady thing because as much as ever, I think people are sick of seeing Tom Brady in Super Bowls and win it. But there's a reason he does it. There's a reason he does it.
You know what I say to people?
Yeah, he goes to Tampa Bay and he gets that team to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
There's a reason they won the Super Bowl, and he is the reason.
Yeah,
he's a gifted athlete, but it's that mindset of like, I'm here, we're gonna win, and they won. I mean, it's fantastic. I love that you're kind of like that.
Yeah,
that's great.
When people may put down Tom Brady, I go, did you hate Einstein because he came up with one too many inventions?
Right? That's so
Come
true.
on, that's difficult, man. What he's doing is they should use him as a role model, not be jealous or envious. This is amazing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. That's when they won that Super Bowl, I was like, yeah, I like that. Like, it's just amazing that this guy and what he's doing. And at that age, and he cares about his body. He cares about everything. And his main goal is to get his team to win.
Yes.
I mean,
we get that you like Tom Brady.
I actually don't. I'm not a big Tom Brady fan.
If we're gonna start talking about football when we have an amazing drummer guest.
Speaking of Tom Brady, guess who we got coming on the show right now? Here he is.
Tom Brady.
I have a really good question. So I want to know, being that you're a superstar, you've got the most amazing mindset, you've worked with some of the most amazing musicians on the planet. Who is the most favorite person or band that you have enjoyed working with? You have to have at least one that stands out for you.
Yeah, thanks for saying at least one, because it's not just one. Oh my God! I mean, I
know, but.
You know, like when I did Blaze of Glory with Bon Jovi, it was so much fun hanging with him. And he and I have become, friends. I don't speak to him all the time, but when we do, it's such a cool thing. Melissa Etheridge was one of the coolest people I've ever worked with. And I worked with her for 10 years. Just amazing.
I just met her recently. We donate to a same charity, but her and her wife, beautiful people.
Her wife is great. I mean,
Linda, right?
Linda, unbelievable. And I was around when all that happened, and it was like, I mean, she's just a great human being, consistently. So there you go. There's that. I'm in such incredible situations. I mean, working with Mick Jagger, he was the coolest with me. I was eating dinner, just me and him, and it wasn't a lot of time I spent with him, but he was so cool. And he said something one night. I was recording at like 4 a.m. I was recording Charlie Watts' solo record, and one night I walk in. This is crazy. I'm doing John Fogerty from 12 to 6 during the day for a tour. We're going to just start doing the Creedence Clearwater songs for the first time in 20 years. Then from 7 to 11, I was working with Roy Bittan, keyboard player from Springsteen, on a record. Midnight to 5 a.m, the Stones or Charlie Watts. One day I walk in anyway, all the Stones are there. And I'm playing this with a brush, a gourd, he comes up to me and goes, "Hey, mate, I love what you're doing, but don't get in the way of Charlie Watts' hi-hat." Now, my point of that story is that he's the lead singer of the Rolling Stones, but he's thinking team, like I was saying. He's going like, listen, a big sound of the Rolling Stones is Charlie Watts, Keith Richards. It's not just me. It's him. He said, Charlie's hi-hat's very special. I was like so impressed that he cared that much about the other people in his band, and he's friggin', Mick Jagger. So he's on my list. Sting.
Who's on your list? Who's on your list that you haven't met? Who's on your bucket list?
Yeah.
Who's on your bucket list that you want to meet? Because you've had the this beautiful life, and you've been in proximity of amazing souls. Who's left? Who do you want to meet?
I can't. Oh, Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
That would definitely be one.
Wow.
Yeah.
He seemed like such a nice, loving, sweet, real caring.
The passion in that music was just.
Dude, he defines authenticity. Come on.
Yeah.
Every every ounce of what he looks like is the way he sounds, the way he acts. It's all real.
Yeah.
You know, that's so he's dead, but I would love to have met him. I would love to have met Janis Joplin.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
God.
That would have been definitely a good one. Good choice there.
So fire that one.
What drummers do you I mean, because you're a drummer, but what other drummers out there that you look up to?
He's a drummer?
Yeah, he is. I know.
I'm not a dancer.
As I was saying it, I was like, everybody knows already he's a drummer. What the hell am I saying? So what
He
other
is.
drummers
Okay,
do you...
I'm so glad you clarified it, though.
I know. So you're a drummer, right? Who else in the business do you look up to?
When people ask me this question, there's so many, I see value in anybody. I go, wow, because everybody's got a different personality. We all have a different we all have a different upbringing. We have a whole different blueprint. So you're going to come up with something that every individual will come up with something that nobody else is going to come up with. So I'm always like, wow, that's pretty cool. But when someone says, who's your favorite? And I have to pick one rock drummer, I'm going to say John Bonham from Zeppelin.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I mean, Mitch Mitchell with Hendrix was great, and I could list this and this and this. But if I have to gun at the head, I'm going to say John Bonham, time, feel, ideas, brilliant parts, blah, blah, blah. If I have to pick a jazz drummer, and there's a lot of great jazz drummers, I'm going to pick Buddy Rich. They're just in a class of his own. And so, let's just start with that. But I mean, there's so many great drummers out there.
Yeah.
So many. I mean, the drummer from Tool is brilliant. Dave Grohl is one of my favorite buddies and friends. Killer drummer. I mean, I don't know where to begin. So, guys, the English drummers really influenced me. The English drummers back in the 60s, Keith Moon, John Bonham, Ginger Baker from Cream, Ian Pace from Deep Purple. I'm leaving some people. Oh, Keith Moon. Did I say Keith Moon?
Yes,
but all these drummers were influenced by jazz drummers. So they have a swing factor in their playing. So if you play like and I grew up that way too. So if you were to play like what I'm feeling inside me is I'm doing all this stupid. It's kind of a shuffle swing thing that comes from jazz. All those drummers had that. So if I go ba ba ba, it's more like boo ba ba ga ga ga. It's kind of a shuffling feel, and that's very, very influenced by jazz and the blues. And these guys had that, and that's why I just think they were And that after that time, the next generation was more white and boxed and didn't have that feel.
It's funny. I heard Dave Grohl in an interview the other day on I think it was TikTok, just scrolling, but he's like, it just blew my mind. He's talking about Smells Like Teen Spirit, and he's talking about how all of those drum beats are disco beats. And I was just like, and as soon as he said it, I went, I got to go listen to that again.
Now I have to go listen to it. I didn't know that either. Oh my God.
He's talking about Sly and the Family Stone, where like he's just kind of like, if you listen to Nirvana's Smells Like Teen Spirit, that beat is a disco beat, and you're just like, boom.
Yeah. And you talk about Tony Thompson, who's a friend of mine who played with Chic, and he was part of that whole scene.
Oh yeah, I know that band.
Yeah, and I see what he's saying. He just added that rock energy to the R&B disco beats, you know.
And you don't know it because you're so focused on the actual sound of the band. But then when you actually hear somebody say, well, the drum, I was kind of a disco style, and then you go, oh my God, out. I hear it.
So like this. That's kind of R&B, funk, or, now watch. Same beat, wholly different energy.
Yeah.
So, and Dave, that's there is the nicest, coolest rock star in the world. There you go. That is the number one guy.
Yeah.
You asked me
There's
that question.
nothing bad said about that guy. And every interview or anything you see with Dave Grohl, he's just One of the classiest people around.
Yeah. You know, I got to tell you a funny story. So I'm performing with the Buddy Rich Big Band. I recorded 2 songs that Neil Peart from Rush, he produced. These are jazz songs. This is not, I was playing bebop. And anyway, the next day I had a pretty big hangover because we've been out partying all night. And,
nice.
You know, and so I'm checking out. I'm in New York, and the skinny guy comes running up to me. Hey, Kenny, you know, Dave Grohl. And he was skinny as a rail. And he goes, hey, man, what are you doing? I said, I'm just checking out. I'm heading back to the Midwest. He says, you know, I got this showcase night. You got to come. You got to stay. You got to come. It's my new band. And I went, what's it called? He said, Foo Fighters. I went, that's a weird name. Hey, good luck. And that was that.
Yeah. It's amazing. It's amazing. I think the first time I heard the Foo Fighter, I was kind of like, what is this? Like, I think it was Big Me was their first single, wasn't it? And you're like, what is this? What is this sound? And then all of a sudden, Big Me, nothing else sounds like that. And it's all different. Yeah. And it's all, I'm so looking forward to this disco album they're putting out. I will be in line the day it comes out, and I'm buying that thing. So
I have to say, I'm really impressed. I did not realize before this interview that you were actually working with Meatloaf, and I'm a huge Meatloaf.
Yeah.
Did you tour with them?
No, I never did. I think he asked me to go out at one point, but I was still in Mellencamp, or I was with somebody else, Fogerty or the Pumpkins. But he liked me a lot because me is and Steinman loved me a lot. Mm-hmm. And Steinman was the genius behind all.
Oh yeah, Jim Steinman.
Yeah, and Meatloaf was like a director of a movie or something, or a play. He'd be like, I need purple and disco and Latin and blah blah blah. And I'd be going like, okay. Meanwhile, Steinman going, shut up, Meat, and the other people would be going, shut up. And I'd be going, no, let me try to. Who cares? He just wanted to be listened to. He wanted to be heard. So I'll just come up with something that I think is purple, disco, and Latin. And he liked me because I was trying to serve him. And so, man, and once that record blew up, it was like, get Kenny. I mean, I was literally doing the Highwayman record, Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Chris Christopherson, Waylon Jennings in L.A. at...
Oh, my God. What a lineup.
Right, no kidding.
Rattle that off your tongue a few times.
Right, exactly.
I know.
Talk about deflating.
I didn't say nothing in that section. I'm like, holy.
Right.
But check this out. I'm doing that from like 11 in the morning till 8, 9 at night. Meatloaf waits for me to go over to Henson, A&M Studios at that point on La Brea. Wow. And I'm doing Meatloaf from 9 to 2 in the morning.
Wow.
So
you're busy.
Yeah, and then
but let's just go back to wait a second. I know you like Meatloaf, Roger, but Johnny Cash. See, that's somebody I would have like loved to have met.
And Willie. I mean, come on, he played with Willie.
I met Willie.
Yeah.
I just met Willie a couple years ago.
Everybody that you're playing with, I still go back to the way you started this interview by saying that you were just a little kid who saw and you're like, and now all of a sudden you've played with so many legends and got to meet them, and I'm just blown away by it.
Well, it's pretty trippy because nobody in my little town of Stockbridge, including me, could have ever understood that little kid, that was just a happy little kid, could end up doing all this. There was no manual or rule book or mentor or somebody saying this is how you do it. So it's pretty bizarre. I feel the same way as you do. You know, it's pretty like amazing. I'm grateful, but I have a phrase that goes like this: I'll never be as great as I want to be, but I'm willing to spend the rest of my life trying to be as great as I can be. It's kind of like a running back, because I was stepping back and looking at myself like, why are you never ever like, oh, I've done it? Because when Jack and Diane went to number 1 in 2 seconds. 2 seconds I celebrated, then went, how am I going to do this again? How do you do it again? I haven't even heard the song. What? I mean, shit, I got to do it again. I'm not number 1. There's no way I'm number 1. Song's number 1. I'm not number 1. You know, I'm immediately thinking I need to do it again, which is a whole another set of issues.
Right.
But my point is, my whole point is that
I'm writing a book for those issues.
Right.
I just have those issues.
hey, Debbie,
Yeah.
don't interview me because I don't want to tell everybody my issues.
I'm going to.
So your point.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, here's the beauty of it. I understand it. I have so much more. That's the cool thing about becoming as old as I am. I'm just turned 29 last week, and I'm finally.
Yeah. Happy birthday.
I'm finally.
Oh my God, you're just a little bit older than me.
Yeah, I know. Well, you sure you might be too young for me to date, you know. But
I like younger men.
yeah, but I'm older than you.
I like older men.
Older men like you.
I explore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Hey, man, you only live once, right? You only live once.
You know what's crazy is that you've actually played with Rocky Kramer, huh?
I have. When did I do that? People like I didn't remember I recorded with Tom Petty. So.
Oh, okay.
So
didn't you perform with Rocky Kramer?
I might have. Rocky, when did I perform with you? When did
he's saying no.
No, he didn't say no. Oh, he didn't. Oh no, Rocky, he never played with you.
I wish though. I wish. I'd love that.
No, Rocky, you should have lied. Oh
yeah, we did that record with Mick Jagger back in 1971.
No, he's lying. He and I.
You weren't even born.
No, he and I were the headliners at Woodstock.
We were headlining Woodstock together.
There you go. That's awesome.
We were the diaper boys.
Oh yes. By the way, I would have taken my shirt off, but I'm not wearing a bra.
Oh no.
Hey, Rocky. Now I want you to take your shirt off to prove to me.
What's the show turn into? No.
You're not wearing a bra. All right.
Now we know that, right? So our other guest here, his name is Rocky Kramer. He's a Norwegian guitarist.
And
he's never played with Kenny Aronoff.
He's never played with Kenny Aronoff.
Rocky.
Maybe in the future.
Rocky, okay. Since you're from Norway, no, it's Sweden. Are you metal or rock pop or what style?
Pretty much metal, progressive metal.
I just did a Ronnie James Dio tribute yesterday. I don't know if you saw it. Oh,
I heard about it. Yeah, I heard about that.
Awesome. I did straight through the heart. It's not metal. I mean, if you're talking metal, that's more like pop metal. That's
right. Yeah.
It's not metal. It's heavy metal. They call it. It's really not metal. it's pop heavy.
It's more like rock metal. I love Yngwie Malmsteen, so that's maybe the closest one. But since you work with Joe Satriani, he's definitely one of my biggest influences. So.
Oh, yeah, dude,
awesome.
I love Satriani.
You're gonna freak on this new record, dude. It's
I
fucking
can't wait.
insane.
All of his records are amazing.
Yeah.
This one
I don't know
is
how.
like this is trippy. He's going it's stylistic, it's all over the place. And I'm hearing solos.
Can you do that one more time?
I feel like we're doing double origato, Misto Robato.
It was funny. Roger and I worked at this church little high school radio station back in the early 90s, and they had one Satriani CD, Surfing with an Alien.
Yeah.
And when I left that station, I so badly wanted to steal it. I so badly wanted to take it, and
this is nothing like that. This is nothing.
You can't take it from a church station. You'd be condemned to hell, Jim.
Hey, Rocky, do you remember old Weather Report? Did you ever hear them?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
When I heard a couple of the demos, I went, this reminds me of Weather Report, where you've got these textures and sounds that's like Weather Report. And so I thought, because Satriani, you guys, he obviously is a solo guitarist, but he has full textures like a keyboard pad. And so we have a piano player called Ray Thistlethwaite, who's very heavy jazzer, but he's a singer-songwriter himself and plays a lot of underground bands in LA. So he can do all the textures and Joe can solo, but they can switch. Just like in Weather Report, they did that too. And big ass funky heavy beats in the background while these guys stretch out and the bass player can be really busy like Jocko. That was my opinion. And I think that may have influenced people, Joe, to think that way in a way. And so this record's really, it's pretty cool.
Wow.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
I can't wait. When is it coming out? Do you know?
Well, I just did some redos because, like, for example, you'll appreciate this, Rocky. So there was like one song that was like boom, got, boom, got, boom, boom, boom. So I started to change it up in sections to kind of develop. He came back and said, I don't want you to change anything. Let all the other instruments move around and you become the grounding force underneath it. So boom, 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 all the way through, just driving, just like John Bonham did in Kashmir, just laying it down. Let the guitar move around and slip around, but I'm the grounding force. Yeah. Ba-da-da, ba-da-da,
this is how I do it, Rocky.
Ba-da-da, ba-da-da, ba-da-da.
I was timing your rhythm. I'd be like,
oh yeah.
That
Love
is like
Kashmir.
Kashmir.
Yeah.
Oh, please stop.
Because,
That's
I mean,
like,
yeah.
John Bonham had so much technique, he could have gone ba-da-doo, ba-doo, ba-doo, ba-ba-doo, 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 ba-ba-doo. No, ba-da-doo.
There you go.
It's like fucking
Simple.
perfect.
Heavy hits.
Yeah.
Instead of
and
little.
that would allow someone like Rocky to do all kinds of stuff.
my
on
God,
top
I'm
of,
going to go listen to this, right? Like, seriously.
know, no
I have to go
kidding.
listen to all these songs now.
yeah,
I
right,
was
exactly.
I was checking out Firestorm, Rocky.
Yeah,
and-
your album came out 2019, Firestorm, with some 2 hits. You got Alcohol and Rockstar.
Right.
Good job on that album, by the way,
Thank
Rocky.
you. Thank you. It's a concept album, which is very unusual. So I'm one of the few people that do it.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about the album and where you're at with it.
Well, it's actually something I wrote when I was 16, which obviously was last year. And it took me about a year to write it. It's really about growing up as a I wanted to be a rock star, so I wanted to write about sort of the rock star is singing like I'm a rock star, but it's really dreaming about being a rock star. So that's it's, so people don't get that wrong. I have to make that clear because sometimes people only hear the chorus and then they're like, oh, they make assumptions. Oh, if you have to say you're a rock star, you're not a rock star. It's like okay. Let's calm down a little bit. It's really just about being a teenager, wanting to be a rock star. I'm sure most of us were there.
I still want to be a rock star.
You still want to be a rock star, exactly.
I never wanted to be
You are a rock star, Deborah.
though.
No, I just want to be Madonna for like one day. I want to be on stage in some cool costume and just dance my ass off.
We all want to see it.
Just look like that.
Exactly.
Just look like that. No costume.
Oh yeah.
I just liked playing other people's music. I knew early on I was not musically talented at all, so I never wanted to be a rock star. I just wanted to play rock stars' music. That's all I ever wanted to do in my life, was share other people's music with people who haven't heard it. And definitely your album Firestorm, I was checking it out today. It's got that vibe a little bit of early metal. I should rephrase that. Not early metal, but
old school metal.
Yeah,
more like the early, like almost like late 70s, early 80s type of. That's kind of. I've wanted it to almost be like Led Zeppelin, but with Yngwie Malmsteen on guitar, and with. I'm also a big like AC/DC fan. I love Queen, Pink Floyd.
I was going to say AC/DC,
kind of mixing all that, and it's just it has moments where it's symphonic and it has moments where it's just kind of heavy. And other times it's just kind of straight up rock and roll. I just wanted to mix all of it.
Do we get to play his song?
He does own it, right?
Can we play
it?
I believe so.
It, so
let's play it. Let's play it.
I want to hear.
Let's play it.
You just hold your horses. You talk about something so I can pull it up. You just talk about
She wants to
heat.
dance on stage.
Right? Exactly. That's exactly what she wants to do.
Rocky, it sounds like your stuff has melody, a lot of melody in it.
Yes. So
that's cool.
That's something that I think is important with music is that you have to have melodies. I think a lot of metal nowadays is it's like riff, but everything is kind of it's pentatonic and kind of everything sounds the same. So I wanted to make sure that you hear melodies both.
That's great.
Vocally and I like playing a lot of melodic guitar solos. That's kind of even though I like.
You can have everything. You get everything. Then you get the melody. You got the technique. You got all of it. That's phenomenal.
It's that's what I always wanted was to kind of mix something else melodic. Like I love Ace Frehley. That's one of my first guitar heroes, and he was not big on technique, but he was just always melodic, very memorable guitar solos.
Totally. Rocky, what city do you live in?
I'm in LA.
I thought you said you're from Norway.
I'm from Norway. I grew up there.
Oh, okay. So you're Norway. You're Norway, California.
No,
that's Norwalk, California.
Almost. That's what some people say.
LA.
I was born in Trondheim, Norway, and that's where I grew up.
I've been there.
Oh, really? Oh, that's amazing.
Well, I was but Fogerty plays all through every little town, every city of Norway and Sweden.
Absolutely, yeah. That's
I've been there in the summer festivals. They'll have a stage in this gorgeous little town, and then they'll have a stage in the middle of nowhere, and 30,000 people show up.
Wow.
That's the crazy thing is that, and that's really what's cool about Norway is that most cities are kind of small, but when there's a big act, like especially from the U.S. or from England, everybody shows up, and I mean everybody.
Yeah, everybody. Right, man.
It's packed. It's crazy. I don't know how it works.
It's soon, man. And boy, do those fuckers, they know how to drink.
Oh my God. That too. You don't want to be there the next day because it's filled with beer, plastic cans.
Dude, it's like, don't ever drink with a Norwegian. You will get slaughtered.
You might die.
You need to sign a waiver that says, I do not have to drink as much as you.
Wow.
That's right. This is how I get my vodka.
Exactly. He's not joking. That's about right.
Wow. Well, let's check out a little of Rockstar right here from Firestorm, Rocky Kramer. Here we go.
Go for it.
Class, the bell has rung. Everybody come in and take your seats. I said to take your seats.
Is that your mom?
This applies to you too, Mr. Kramer.
I had teachers like that.
That's Brandon Shepard.
Up with the shenanigans
Funny guy.
Screwing around. Time to put on your thinking cap.
Stop dreaming.
Mr. Kramer.
Teacher, leave them kids alone.
There's no drums yet, Roger.
No. There's the drums now.
Yeah. Woo!
My body's like a milkshake. My mind is
nice.
I can't get out of this prison cell. I wake up every day in my own hell. I wanna get away. 'Cause I want the one that you wanted to be. 'Cause I'm a rock star.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm a rock star. Oh, baby, I'm a rock star.
Yeah, great.
It's that I'm a rock star. Yes, I'm a rock star. Oh, baby, I'm a rock
Great.
star.
Woo!
I don't know what to do, but I am leaving you.
Can't wait for the solo.
Yeah, this is the mini solo.
That's the second verse. Oh.
Yeah.
I'm loving this. I love watching Kenny break it down.
Verse 2.
Verse 2. There we go. He's gonna break it down for us.
Come on. Again. Chorus 2.
Chorus 2.
Right hand, left hand. He's about to unleash hell, right? You're about to unleash hell.
Right
It's coming.
Balls, one of the two.
Ooh, nice. Bridge.
Bridge.
It's great, Rocky. Great melodies. Killer. That's
Thank you.
about it. It's super memorable. It's great.
Yeah.
Great songwriting.
You feel like it's a summer jam.
It could be.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
This is a different sound. It's just a different.
Yeah, I like that's it.
You guys, just letting you, we got to get back to a chorus. This is like a third verse, right?
Oh yeah, this song keeps changing.
I love it. But it's kind of like it's a verse, but it's different. It's a different
Now
section.
there's gonna be a new section now after this.
Oh, cool. No, this is good. Here we go.
It's the final section. Here we go.
It's like a bridge two. But it's going to come back to another chorus, right?
Like a Broadway
It
show.
has to.
I know.
Like a Broadway show.
Yeah.
Here come the dancers.
Yep. It's great, man. It's fucking cool. Gotta come back with it.
Rocky Kramer and Rockstar on the Roger the Wild
Yeah.
Child show.
That's pretty cool, Rocky. You didn't end
Yeah.
with a chorus. You ended with a new
did.
thing.
I ended with a new thing. That's what's special about that song. I wanted it to be like that ending is almost like Poison, an '80s Poison song, and then in the beginning it's kind of AC/DC.
Yeah,
in the middle
I
it's
feel that.
kind of crazy.
Yeah.
So it's just
You
a lot
know,
of different things.
The thing is, you guys, to give credit to Rocky, to end a song with a new section that you haven't heard and not end with the chorus is a difficult thing to do. It's really difficult because that last section has to be as big as the chorus. You've heard two of them already, and that's what you know. How do you beat the chorus? It's supposed to be the most important section of the album of the song. Good job, man.
And what Rocky was saying was exactly what I
see, and I
heard.
would have never known that, but you just broke that down, and now I'm like, everything's going to sound different to me now. I love this. Like, It's like rock school. I love it.
Yeah, I enjoyed Rocky what you were saying
that's the
when I
new
heard
name
it
of our
is
show.
the different sounds in just one song, and when you have
Just
that
one
little
song,
I mean, I saw Kenny go, yeah, when it was just I loved it.
Right.
I thought it was great.
No,
Yeah,
it's great songwriting. Great songwriting, man. It's like I was ready. I was like, here comes, and there it was.
Yeah, we're gonna play that on Chicago's variety station starting tomorrow. We're gonna add
This is
that
the
as
School
a
of Rock.
tune.
Perfect. And also, Rocky, when's your next? Are you working on another album?
Absolutely. So Firestorm was kind of my it's not actually my fourth album, but it was the fourth album that I wrote. But it's actually my debut album. So now I'm working on what was originally going to be the first album, and I'm kind of reworking it so that it's just more on point and just taking out some of that, like, because I wrote that first. So I'm just getting rid of some of those beginner mistakes. So I'm really excited about it. We should probably be recording it pretty soon. I've been recording demos and re-recording demos and doing it over and over and over again, just trying to get it right, because it's important that I have sort of that basic idea before I show it to my band and before we do it, for real.
Any tour dates? I mean, are you touring at all?
It's a little tricky right now with the dates and so on. We're trying to book something, but I've been doing it on Twitch. I've been doing, I call it Rock and Roll Tuesdays. I'm doing songs. I did Kashmir, by the way, the other day.
Nice. Nice.
Hey, Rocky, what's the name of the band? Is it called Rocky Kramer, or is there a band name?
It's Rocky Kramer. It's
cool.
And it's really because I just want to be a solo artist. My music, you know.
Yeah. Dude, I'm gonna check you out. I apologize, I don't know your music, but
that's okay.
But he wants to play with you, though. So
of course I do. I have a studio. There's the studio.
Love it. I'd love to see it in person.
I'm so jealous.
Kenny, speaking of,
I give you my number, but everybody's listening, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
I got my phone right here. I'm taking it down. All right.
I'll give it to Deborah, and she'll give it to you.
There we go.
Yeah, that's right.
Well
Now,
played, Kenny.
you were
Well
recently
played.
in a studio that had like the world's largest mixer, weren't you?
Oh yeah, the one you talk about down in. Have you heard of Sonic Ranch, Rocky?
Oh yeah, I believe so. Yes.
Yeah. So Sonic Ranch, they have 8 studios down there, and this guy's got this big pecan plantation. But he's a big music guy. He's eccentric, and he had the biggest Neve mixing board in the world.
Wow.
Nice.
Where is this? Where is it located?
Very, very casual, easy place to hang out. El Paso, Texas.
El Paso.
Actually, yeah.
I have a business partner in El Paso.
Actually, El Paso's cool, but I was 1 mile from the borderline. Everything was cool there. I've always heard El Paso. Holy shit, gunfire's coming over the border.
No.
But, yeah. Anyway, right. Pew 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 pew.
Hey, Rocky,
Yeah, you're playing drums.
You were playing on the road with Buck Cherry, right?
Yes, I did. We toured England at the end of 2019.
How was that?
It was a lot of fun. Very nice guys, actually. They welcomed us beautifully.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they're awesome,
Nice.
and they were very sweet to us. And we played all of England and had a great time.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, because it sounds like it just kind of happened. It wasn't planned. It just kind of happened, right?
Well, I mean, we have the same booking agent, so that's how it happened. So it was awesome. It worked.
Well,
out that
Rocky,
way.
I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked Kenny out of all fairness. So we keep this all on the same playing field. I want to know.
We're in trouble now.
Brady.
Yeah,
Tell us about your fondness for Tom Brady. No, that's not.
No, my question is, but this is a little different for you because Kenny has been in proximity of just about everybody that we can think of.
Right.
Who would you like to be in proximity with? What's your dream?
Oh gosh, I think any guitar player that I've been influenced by would be amazing. I'll have to again mention Joe Satriani because I just think he's an amazing guy.
Yeah.
Amazing guitar player and songwriter. It's Steve Vai, Yngwie Malmsteen, David Gilmour. Any of those guys would be awesome. I would love to say Freddie Mercury, but he's not with us.
No, I mentioned Hendrix.
No, Kenny, you know all the people he mentioned.
Yeah, I do. I know all those people.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jimi Hendrix would have been amazing to me.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
It would have been a trip. I mean, oh my God.
Sweet guy. I mean, everything you see about him is nice. He's he's so cool. He's just so chill.
I found the video here to go back for just a second, guys, of you posted on your Facebook page of that mixer board.
Okay. Yeah.
Show us.
Did I have my clothes on?
Was it hot?
Oh, there we go.
Wow.
Largest Neve in the world. There's Mario. Say hi, Mario. How's it going? He's our engineer. Dude, this is the largest Neve in the world. Say something about Neve. Anything that people need to know. What's unique about it? Which version is it?
It's I forget the version, but it's a Class AB 4-band Neve. It's 80 channels, so it's really
80. Wow.
It's 80. Amazing. Dude. So we'll do a record out there. Check out the studio if you can see it. It's fantastic. Sonic Ranch.
Nice.
That
was cool that you put that up there, man. You guys are geniuses.
Yeah, you know.
Is there a tape recorder? Like, does it record on tape or is it all digital?
No, it's all digital. Yeah. You know, the problem with tape is that I love tape. You guys, analog tape is the same as using film when you like shooting camera or shooting a movie in film versus digitally. There's a warmth and a depth to it. It affects color. But the problem with tape now, it's just amazing that you can hardly get tape. But you have to keep taking care of the machines. You can only get 3 songs on one reel of tape. Where on Pro Tools, I can go, give me another take, give me another take, give me another take, I can go 30 takes. They'll say, grab the bridge from take 4, put it into take 1. You know, it's just so much faster. When I did an Alice Cooper record, this is when they were just phasing out tape. We would record the drums on tape, then transfer it to Pro Tools, a digital format for editing. But they got the sound, the warmth, the punch, the compression, all the cool elements you get from recording the tape. Then they transferred it over to. Now, my engineer, when he mixes, he'll like we try to go for an analog sound. In other words, we want that sound, but we use digital everything. But for example, when we're done, if we are mixing for somebody, we'll run it through those old tape machines in a digital format. In other words, you bring up the old tape machine on your computer and you run it through to get that sound. It's a compromise.
Well, it's funny.
But it's not bad.
When I was in radio and you had to do production, and I was in radio in the mid '90s, you were still using tape, and I hated doing production.
To splice it, edit it,
I couldn't stand
tape
it
up.
Yeah, they would say like, go do a commercial, and I'd be like, okay, and they want this many tracks, and I'm like, oh, I hate doing this. Now I sit here and just fool around in Adobe Audition, and I'm just like, I'm like, okay, I'm done. Boom.
Yeah.
Well, it's crazy how the world's changed.
But the thing is, the big thing is, does the audience know the difference?
Right,
now,
exactly, and most don't.
No, especially because they're using earbuds, and some people say we got a mix so it sounds good on an iPhone into your earbuds.
Yeah, that drives me nuts.
Woo!
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that.
I will never be into blow up dolls. You know what I mean? I like the real thing. Just saying. I think Rocky's probably feels the same way. You know, plastic.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of blow up dolls either.
Yeah. I knew somebody here was. I knew it. Hey, you
don't tell my wife though, please.
Yeah.
Right. Yes. No, but I think that the convenience of digital is definitely beneficial. Yeah. When we recorded Firestorm, we actually talked about recording it on tape, and then we said, okay, how do we get it? How do we do it? And it was just so complicated. We said, you know what? We're just going to record it digitally. It'll be much cleaner, less noise, and just we use compressors and so on to get whatever that tape compression. To get that tape compression, So I think it's fine.
I think if you go after the analog sound in the digital world, it still can sound analog, as opposed to just saying, fuck it, I'm just going to do the digital world and leave it at that. There's a lot of what they call plugins, you guys. You can get you have Pro Tools, which is one format of recording digitally, which is what I have here. But then you can buy plugins. So in other words, you could get a $30,000 Fairchild that if you bought it in the hard form would be $30,000, because when you run a microphone through that, or if you run a guitar through that, it gets that unbelievable sound. The plug
don't even understand how Roger's getting so turned on right now. You don't understand. I should put my top back on, because you're now Roger's getting excited.
Yeah,
what Kenny's saying is awesome, because
I am God. You see what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Yeah, I'm the same way. I love it, Kenny. I use so in radio, like when I was in radio, I was doing top 40 radio, which some stations top 40 radio compression was just nuts. I mean, so loud. So and for my internet radio station, Chicago's variety station, I want that sound. So I use a tool that almost mimics exactly. Is $150. It's like,
that's what I'm saying. And they have really gotten accurate at replicating that sound to the point where only the experts know the difference.
Yeah.
So they could run my snare drum through that $40,000 or $30,000 Fairchild, then run it a little bit of a limiter over here, some EQ, run it through a studio tape machine. I mean, this shit would be like 150 grand worth of shit.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I use a program called Stereo Tool, and the guy who writes that is just so awesome. He's always updating it. There's always new things going on with it, and every single time there's a new update, it sounds even better and better and better. And I mean, if I listen to my station in the car, and it just sounds so good, and it's so much loud, and I love this stuff. I'm the geek when it comes to that kind of stuff. So,
hey, you
True
guys,
story, Jim.
Y'all can believe it, but in 3 minutes, I'm going to be having a session here. I'm recording drums on some very controversial female Mexican artist. One song, I have no idea what she's talking about. As a matter of fact, I thought it was a guy. But I've heard that she's...
It might be better you don't.
Yeah. I heard it's a good thing she's not here, but because I heard trouble follows her. And,
Oh, God.
Kenny Aronoff's tied up in the corner somewhere. Anyway,
don't tell
Oh my God.
don't tell Frankie about that, because he'll be talking about it next week.
Anyway, you guys, I have to split. Am I leaving way too soon? I hope
No,
not.
You're
good,
perfectly
you're good.
fine. We're wrapping up
You're
anyways.
totally fine. We're wrapping.
Okay,
Hey,
Kenny, thank you for joining us.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Kenny. You were
And,
awesome.
You guys,
Thanks, Kenny.
You guys have my email address. Rocky, email me. All you guys, anybody can email me. And Rocky, you'll have,
Thank you so much.
Deborah and Rocky said you guys all live in LA someday. And I'll be in and out all year round. Come by the studio. Rocky,
Wait, I can get there on a plane. So just let me know.
I'm in Boise, Idaho, so it's only an hour and a half flight, so I could be there too.
Dude, that's like LA traffic. Easy peasy.
Exactly.
Exactly. It's quicker to fly.
Yeah.
Right.
That's awesome.
All right, you guys.
Perfect.
All righty.
Thank you
Kenny.
so much.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Wow, look at that. Look at that, Rocky. Man.
Wow.
Boom.
When I grow up, I want to be him.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Well, yeah.
I forgot to tell him, Sherry Nelson, a guest of ours, I hope he's still listening. Sherry Nelson was on our show a couple weeks ago, and she said he's the hottest guy in rock, is what she said. So, yeah.
Well,
So,
Also,
and she's just,
by the way, speaking of Sherry Nelson, real quick, I wanted to shout this out last week. I wanted to thank her because she just wrote a whole article on me.
wow.
Yeah, isn't that so sweet? Yeah,
That's
she
awesome.
wrote-
I was talking to Roger because Sherry and I were talking a little bit this morning, and I'm just like, she is just the sweetest person.
So sweet.
Oh my God, so genuine
sweet.
and nice. So
And
I
the
forgot
article
to tell
Yeah.
Kenny
Yeah,
that. So
she wrote a beautiful, beautiful article, and we mentioned the show and everything. I mean, she's just beautiful. She reached out. She's like, I want to do a whole profile on you.
wow.
Nice.
Awesome.
How cool
Awesome.
is that? See,
And
when
very
when
cool.
you're on the Roger the Wild Child show, these are the
Anything,
things.
you're somebody.
Anything can happen. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying? You meet the most beautiful people. And by the way, I have to tell you, Rocky, there's a theme with this show now.
Okay.
Well, since I've been a part of it, and this is just something I noticed, I don't know how it was before, but since I've been, we have
We
had
take
the
our
most.
shirts off. Oh,
We,
no.
Well, that's a new thing. But we have had a theme here where we've had the most beautiful, amazing guests with beautiful mindset stories.
And then you had
just-
me.
No.
I'm sharing this with you because something to aspire to, and these legends that have this beautiful mindset, right? That if you go back and watch our shows, there's a theme. They all have something very in common that's so beautiful, and it's pretty amazing. I feel very, very blessed to be a part of this.
I will echo that because honestly, there are some guests that we get and we know, and then there's some guests we don't know, like you, Rocky. We didn't know who you were. So, we do our research and I say, okay, the songs are good. And I see the website and I look and I do the reading and I'm like, okay, he's played with Buck Cherry and blah, blah. But we don't know how you're going to be when you come on. And we've been blessed as a show.
I know.
That
Yes,
every
definitely.
guest that we have had on has
Just
been
beautiful.
the coolest people. And you're the same. I mean, you didn't know us and you're just playing around, having fun. That's the way it should be. And now you're going to be friends with Kenny. I mean, you just are. It's not. It's not. You are.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome.
It's the universe, and the universe is just so beautiful. It's like, oh my God, and how humble to be a drummer that has worked with legends. I mean, hands down, some rock legends. And look how graceful and humble and beautiful. It's just, we're so blessed. And I love it when I get in proximity of people who really appreciate their contribution, their life, and who they've been around, and then want to share that with us. I mean, it's like, oh my God.
It's just, It's amazing. He's
This is,
listening to your song.
this is why our shows go longer
He
than
just
an hour. by the way.
complimented your music and just
Oh my
thought
God,
you were
yeah.
a great artist. He saw a
Yeah.
lot of potential in you, and that's great for you, Rocky.
I love that he got to hear it live with me, and he's
Yeah.
analyzing it and everything live on the air.
I'm telling you, I was watching his face
That's
through the whole
awesome.
thing, and he's trying to figure out where you're going next. And it's not
Yeah,
like he
it's
was.
like,
It's not like
okay,
he
it's
was
gonna
like
be a chorus.
Yeah, it's not like he's going, well, here's a new guy, and I'm okay, I'll just listen to the song and say, oh, it was pretty good. No, I mean, you could see him contemplating, and that's what I was doing when I heard the song the first time today. Was like, okay, this sounds like this, and it sounds like this, and it's and then all of a sudden you were doing things in that song, and I'm like, okay, all right, and I still just love that DDD. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what the DDD part is, but
hold on. This thing right, hold on. The
Where's
thing.
this?
Hold on.
The
I'm
DDD
gonna get
part.
to the
the
DDD.
DDD part.
Well, hold on.
Hold on.
Right there.
Oh, that part.
Okay,
Oh,
dear. Sorry.
that was the
I
part.
told-
That part
Rocky.
was the keyboard player who played that. He called it the Zelda part. Remember in
yeah.
Zelda, like the leveling
Yeah.
up thing, like that's what he.
Yeah.
That was his
Yeah.
reference with it. Now, if you listen to the synth pop version, I use more of like a harpsichord type, so it sounds kind of like Halloweenish.
Okay.
So there's another version for those of you who want to check that out too.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out. You notice I said I'm not musically. I have no musical talent, so that keyboard sounded like. That's what it sounded like.
Yeah,
that's me explaining it. But now, you're exactly right. It's Zelda-ish. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, that's. I don't know why I wrote it like that, but I just that's just how I heard it. That's it's probably because I have a classical background, so I hear those. That's just the type of stuff that comes to my head.
Wow. Yeah, I'm going to listen to. I haven't had a chance to listen to the whole album, but I'm going to check it out. And we're gonna add that Rockstar on Chicago's variety station, so we'll start playing it for you.
Yay!
Awesome.
There you go.
Appreciate it.
Yay!
Of course.
We like to do that. We had a guest on from the Rose Crumbs, right?
Yes, Devin.
Yeah, Devin.
She
And
was
we've been-
adorable.
Yeah, we've been playing her
That's what I'm
song.
saying. Yep.
Yeah.
I was driving around the other day listening to
Yeah.
your station yesterday, or our station. But
No, it's my station. Don't
okay,
say ours.
yours. Yeah.
Let's,
And I was like,
what?
I recognize that
It's
song.
mine.
Oh yeah, that's Devin. Like I look at I'm like,
I
yep,
was gonna say
we're
if you
still
want
playing
to-
it.
If you want it to be our station, then we got to split half the bills for it.
Okay, your station, Jim.
No, so
That I DJ on. Okay.
I love supporting our guests with their music. I love music. So, I mean, it's my biggest passion in life is music. So, well, after my kids and wife, but then music. But
Yeah.
it used to be music first before they existed. So, I guess maybe.
I love music too. I'm so
Yeah.
excited to be doing this because we're meeting I don't want
Yeah.
to say it again, but I just feel so blessed. It's amazing the people that we're meeting.
You got to stay in touch with us, Rocky. You got to let us know when you put out a
Yes.
new album and
Yeah, please
tour
do.
the States at all.
You know what?
No,
You guys are
I
cool.
want
I
to know
like
when
you
you and when you and Kenny hook up.
Yeah.
I want to know.
Yeah.
We're gonna hook up. Oh, I didn't know that.
I want to be at that dinner. I want to be
No.
at that
Oh.
dinner. I want to be with.
I want to
you.
see a jam session
I
between
do
you and
too.
Kenny.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know,
I'll
you
come
know.
and-
Well, when he was talking, I was thinking like I could listen to this guy all day because
All
he
day.
has so many rock and
Oh,
roll
yeah.
stories. He's just like, here's one, here's another one. Elton John. It's just it goes on and on. It's just amazing.
Yeah.
What a career! It's just
Yes.
I'm
Mind
just
blowing.
amazed.
It's mind-blowing.
Mind-blowing.
So
Absolutely.
we're going to meet in person in LA, and I have a feeling Kenny's going to be there, and this is how life is.
Yeah.
Well, you just did an hour and a half in a
Love it.
sports bra. Of course he's going to be there.
I have
Rocky
certain
Kramer.
expectation.
You guys are like, all right, our air conditioning went out. Yes.
Actually, I paid somebody to unplug the
Yeah,
shit
right.
for you before the
Yeah.
show
Right.
started.
Well, here's the deal: if it doesn't work this next Sunday, then I'm on to you.
Fair deal.
It was Kenny all along.
Yeah,
The wires.
right? All right, Rocky Kramer, thank you for being
Rocky,
on the
thanks
show
so
with
much,
us.
man. It was nice
Thanks
meeting
for
you
having
today.
me.
It's awesome.
You guys are
Thank you, Rocky.
You were
Thank you.
awesome. Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
Rocky.
you.
Wow, what
Oh
another
my
show.
gosh. We had a wonderful week, double episode week. It was been
Yeah.
fun.
Oh,
I mean-
Deb, I forgot to show you this. I picked up another version of Chicago 18, but this is completely sealed from 1986. Completely.
What? Oh,
yeah.
MG. That's pretty. That's gold. That's gold right there.
I've got to try to get a certain someone to try to sign it for me.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have to reach out to him and say, can you please sign it?
I mean, seriously.
He will.
You know what you can do?
I'll
you
pay
can
shipping back and forth.
You can overnight it to me, and I'll hand deliver it to him. Say Deborah will bring. Deborah will come, and you can sign this. She'll hold it while you sign it, and
I love Deb's stories, but I don't like that she knows people, and I'm like, well, if Deb and us hung out, we could all know him too. But I'm in Chicago.
We just got to move to L.A.
I don't want to.
No, you don't want to. You do not want to pay these taxes, people. Oh my God.
Now the taxes or when the air conditioning goes out, you don't want to.
Right. When I can say I don't even want to live in Illinois, there's no way I want to live in California.
My goal is to move to Nashville, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Same here, actually.
Yeah.
Because I talked to Gary. I told him. I said I want to move to Nashville out there, and he's like, "Great place."
I spent 3 weeks in October there, and I looked at Leiper's Fork, and I looked at Franklin, and I fell in love with that area, and it's so peaceful, and it's it's beautiful.
It'd be closer to one of my daughters, and also I was visiting there a few years ago back, fell in love. I fell in love with Nashville. I took my youngest daughter with me, and her and I went out there and met up with my other daughter, and we just kind of, I felt the vibe. I'm like, okay, this is a cool place.
It is. And for music lovers, oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
It's like open mic every day, all day. It's like,
Jim, you need to pack the family up, move to Nashville. We'll get a studio. We'll all be in the same room at the same time.
Oh, okay.
There we go. There we go. Dream it, and make it happen.
I think first you need to figure out how to get monetized. We can talk about
and it comes in the contract that we want to do our show in Nashville or outside of Nashville.
And Deb has to be in a studio with no air conditioning.
That's right. All righty, guys. Wow. I want to thank you all for joining us for this crazy episode. Every episode's a crazy episode. Oh, yeah. Thank you, Frankie McDonald, as always, with the weather. You can get his book on Amazon. It's called Be Prepared. Kenny Aronoff, thank you for being on the show with us. Also, Rocky Kramer. And as always, I have the greatest co-hosting team. Jimmy Knight, Deborah Driggs. I'm Roger the Wild Child. We'll see you next Sunday.
Oh, my gosh. How about we just do the show every day?
Yeah,
exactly. There you go.
Because we gotta stop having him sing.
Chicka, ching.
Bye, everyone. We'll see you later.